Nothing's
I love that we're having a serious conversation and...
That's right, I forgot that I need to not have YouTube open in the background. It does not work. Well, it does, but it'll play at the same time. Alright. I decided to lower our overall quality, unfortunately, down to 720/30. Should play fine, even with my little previews open and whatnot. Seems to be going just fine. Alright, give it a few minutes. After a few minutes, we'll actually start. Bruh. I was confused there for a second on what the hell that was. Nice. Don't even talk to those people anymore. Feels weird to even bother telling people like happy birthday on Facebook when you don't talk to them. Feels disingenuous. It's freaking 36 degrees today. It's ridiculous. There's no reason for it to be that cold. What kind of encounters are we in? Oh, fuck. There's so much shit I have to do. Alright. God. I'm just in my own brain thinking of things I gotta do later. I'm debating on what to do. I actually don't even know what we're doing today. This is the second time I've streamed 14 where I've said that we're gonna do the patch story, but like in my brain I'm like, are we? Are we actually? Because I set ourselves to do so, but I feel like I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. Yeah, last we were logged in as our bard. Our bard. Oh, okay. I wasn't even aware that function was a thing. Wait, what? No, Primal's the data center, Exodus is the world, that's right. I could switch data centers. I do have another character that I haven't played in a little bit. Let's actually start the logging process since we're coming about the 10-minute mark. Once we hit the 10-minute mark, then I'm going to switch over to the actual live visual, the live feed. In the meantime, we're just chilling and chatting on the stream starting screen. At least for right now. I'm surprised the jar doesn't like reset. Maybe it's not meant to, or maybe there's like a setting to make it reset. Because as it stands, it has like bits in it right now, but those are like test bits. And it's like, those shouldn't still be there. Doesn't make any sense as to why they'd still be there. Is it like that? Yeah, that might be it. No, it didn't change anything. It just re-dropped the same bits. Bits, tips, subs, follows, and all the things I tested. It still has them. It's weird. It's not really much here that says like, you know, empty jar or whatever. Yeah, I got nothing. Like, I could always just make it not visible anymore, but I have no clue as to, you know, making it just like not a thing. Which reminds me. Say a little hi to my free company. We're almost at the 10-minute mark, and then we're going to swap over. Where are we? Oh. Apparently reset our character. Now we're looking at a wall. Scroll lock. person. Do that. Oh, there we go. We're over at 10 minutes. And there we are. We're back. We're on the live scene. You can actually see the game now. Hopefully the game volume isn't too high, but also not too low. Right now it's just like background music stuff, so it's not like necessity important to be able to hear all that much. If I do, if I do like cutscene stuff, I probably might wanna turn it up. So I'm not entirely sure if that's gonna happen or when it'll happen. I guess would be more accurate. I still have it set so that people's names don't appear. I'm actually kind of curious now that I think about it. I'm wondering if when friends are online and they're in the immediate vicinity of me, if their names will still pop up as visible. Now that I think about it. It shouldn't be. I even turned it up, but I was kind of talking out of the side of my mouth for a little while. The mic is also placed differently than usual. I literally almost never mess with my settings between streams, and yet somehow my audio will always be different. Problem is, I feel like if I hit any button, it just becomes too overpowering or too low. Alright, what was I looking for? Display name. Party members, alliance members, friends. Okay, friends I want always. Other NPCs I don't really care that much about. Alliance members. Party members always. Alliance members. Alliance members I don't really care about. If I target them, then fine. But they're not really that important. Other PCs, on the other hand, like these other characters that are just chilling, that I'm more like, yeah, we'll keep that off. But friends, yeah, I want that to be always on. And party members I want to be on so I can see it. For me, I wanted my name to be always visible. That's fine. My companions and my pets, not really necessary unless we're in battle. Yeah, NPCs should be always. I feel like there was one more category that I was forgetting. I can't think of it now, so it's too late now. Alright, this way, if any of my friends log in or something and I'm looking around, I'll see their orange name above their head, so it'll be easy to be like, oh, hey, there's a friend of mine or something like that. Easy peasy. Actually, yeah, I wanted to check something on here real quick. Okay, currently our frame rate is only at 59. Why is it so low? Like, the stream output is obviously lower than that. I set it down to 720/30 just to not have issues anymore. But my actual game shouldn't be this low. Yeah, right now we're only going at most 5960. I was using the 144 before. Why does it feel like we're limited all of a sudden? It seems odd. I mean, there are a lot of players around in this area, so that could be the reason. Let's try. Let's go to the aft castle. It should take us nearby where the inn is, and there's not usually too many players around. Actually, I'm stupid. I should leave the frame rate thing on so I can see it. Yeah, it seems like we're halted at 59 right now. The stream's going pretty fine, I assume, because it's not pushing past 30. And we're obviously doing more than 30 on our side. But now I'm so confused. Literally just yesterday, we were more than happily making over 120 in our frame rate. It's weird that we're now having... we're now only making it to 59? It doesn't make any sense. The only setting I ever changed was the frame rate setting, which I had yesterday attempted to try to do this one to knock it down to like 72 and have that be fine. But it kept knocking it down to 12. So that was an issue. So I just said, fuck it. And when I logged out finally, I put it at none because I was just like, fuck it, why not? But 144 is literally my setting. It's what we had before, and it had no issues. Weird. Problem is I can't even change this one because setting this to maximum changes it from borderless windowed mode over to full screen. It's a regular full screen, which usually makes it a pain because you can't like alt tab off of it without having some issues. So I'm like, nah, I'm not bothering with that. And then high resolution settings for the monitor are pain only because it changes the UI size, and I am just not dealing with resizing my UI at this point. There it goes again. Only this time it didn't dip nearly as hard. Weird. We put it down to 36. What do we do? What does that happen? We're down to 25, 26. So it's still 10 under, which is weird. But this is where the problem lies. This should be higher than 59. There shouldn't be anything limiting me on Final Fantasy at least. My monitor settings should be fine. I don't remember changing any of my monitor settings. Yeah, change that to that. That's fine. That's what I'm streaming at. That's what my actual game is at. That's fine. And there's all this stuff, which I left pretty much the same as before. And that's all fine. What is happening? What is going on? If it's not one thing, it's another. No, wait, hold on. What the hell is that? Okay. I clicked away over to the Streamlabs OBS to check some things, and the frame rate immediately jumped up to 100. On my little readout here, that obviously it doesn't come through on the stream because this is like overlay stuff that I just don't want to always be seen. But I'm like, why is it like that? What is the reasoning? Oh god. I hope that just doesn't in the background and doesn't cause any issues, because that's gonna be a pain in the ass. I mean, if we're at like the 60 mark, it's not a big deal. Technically, we're at the 59 mark, and I know it literally won't go above 59 for some reason until I click off, and then it changes to be over 100, which tells me that it's not what I thought it was, which was like, oh, maybe I messed up some setting in my monitor or in the system in general. Yeah, I don't know what the hell the issue would be. Literally, this is the only setting I've messed with. And it doesn't matter whether I put it at the 144, which is what my monitor is, or none. It doesn't go past 59. Like, there's no difference. And if I try to do it by halving the refresh rate instead of pretty much supposedly staying where it's supposed to be, or cutting my frame rate in half for what it was, it doesn't do that. It drops like 15 or so. Like, see, we're averaging like 46, 47, but it's like all over the place in that little area. But it doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be that low. I should have more than double this. And I have no clue why. I'm so confused. Like, I shouldn't care. I shouldn't. But it's bugging me because I've literally seen 1,000 times over how good my performance has been. So this weird situation here is causing concerns. Alright, time to walk away from the person playing the harp. Because I am not trying to get freaking content ID'd due to some random person deciding to play some stuff. Stop asking that. I do not want to use Edge. I do not care. Frame rate apparently still over 100. As long as I'm not on that screen. Maybe it's something I did on the control panel, maybe? No, I want to mess with this one. What's going on here? Yep, it's connected. The refresh rate is still set the same. Yeah, that seems to be all fine. Yeah, I don't have the ability to do 1440p, so that stuff can be ignored. Whew. Yeah, we're at 144 hertz. Yeah, the monitor is fine. Nothing wrong with the monitor, apparently. Both monitors are set perfect. I have no idea what's causing the issue. Let me actually see something really quickly. It's still going? Well, it's enabled, but it didn't do a full scan. So there's that, but there's nothing really that changed in this regard. This is my issue right here. The FPS is not going high. Does it change anything? General GPU utilization is kind of low anyways. Yep, I have no clue what the hell happened. No, none of that has changed either. I got nothing. That literally doesn't tell me anything. Yeah, bringing up the control panel won't matter anymore anyways. It literally does nothing. Yeah. The game is going apparently to refuse pushing past 59 for reasons I am not entirely aware of. Should I exit and restart? Yeah, I'm just going to do that. Because I have no clue as to what the issue is. Okay. I did get the game capture working for the most part, which is amazing. Let's hope all it needed was a restart. I already see that that was not the case. Because it's already telling me my frame rate is not above 100. I really don't want to try to set this to maximum and have it screw me again. Let's see what happens. Literally nothing changed. Frame rate didn't even budge. Not even slightly. So what if I do standard desktop? Nothing. No increase whatsoever. It's like it's capped. It is literally acting as if it's capped. But that shouldn't be the case. Oh good, it actually didn't change my UI settings on this side. Limit frame rate when client is inactive? No, because it's not doing that. It's unlimiting them the moment that I'm inactive on the client. I have literally no clue. Let's do this demo video. Let's play it outright. So far, there's no changes. Nothing has changed. It is just playing out as is at 59 FPS. And it's not exceeding 59. Oh god, that's loud. Let's turn that down ever so slightly. Okay, there we go. My frame rate just fucking shot to holy hell. Oh wait, no. I just realized I did just click off the fucking screen. What if we alt-tab back in? Immediately fucking drops. I don't understand what's going wrong. The only setting I changed, like I didn't change any settings really game-wise. Yesterday I was messing around with the different frame rate options and it kept screwing me by turning it from like the 144 thing. When I changed it down to like 76, it just goes down to 12 FPS. It didn't make any sense at all. But that was the only thing yesterday, and I turned that off and I put it on none, but that was about it. The only other change I made was I changed our FPS values to 30 so that it would limit the stream frame rate from 720/60, which is what we were trying to work with yesterday, to 720/30 because it was having a lot of issues just holding a good 60 FPS without issue. It made it very difficult. I don't like the idea of not having a preview. I think it was like, if I put it in performance mode, the 60 FPS would work. But, the performance mode would make it so I don't see a preview of what is live on the live stream, so I can't even tell if that is the case, if everything's working out well. I have no clue what's going on. Like currently the thing is going at 144 pretty much. While it's not the main thing. And I don't understand. And I have proof. I have proof from previous streams that we made it up to like 120 easily. But for some reason it's like, nah. You can't do that this time for some reason. And I'm like wondering if it's because I changed our video thing to 720/30 for streaming. But I'm like, wait, no, because that wouldn't make any sense. It was at 720/30 when I first set the stream up originally. Then I upped it to 1080/60 to see if we could handle it. Definitely could not. So then I changed it down to 720/60 to hope that that would be enough to allow it to flow and have it work and not have too many issues. But yesterday I found that 720/60 was a bit much. So today I was like, you know what, screw it, since 720/30 was working perfectly fine, I should just do that. Now I have concerns of my own. Yeah, see, that's my thing, is like I don't feel like it's nearly as much of a problem when it comes to just being the viewer Like, yes, obviously, if you're a PC gamer and you are used to that 60 FPS, it feels off watching something at 30. But really, since you're just watching it, like, it's not a necessity to be 60. But it's screwing me up now because, like, the stream is fine. Everything seems to be going fine with the stream. I'm not being told of any drop frames at all. We are solid 30. Perfect. Our CPU usage isn't too bad. There's nothing going on there. Now it's just on my end, like my proper end, where for some reason if I make the game the primary thing that I'm looking at, it just cuts and runs. The FPS immediately drops and then locks it down to like 60. And it's not even 60, that's the worst part. It is locking it to 59 pretty much. It hits 60 like very rarely. And I'm like, I know you can do more than that. I know you can do double that. So I don't understand the logic that you're locking yourself lower. And I feel like it's got to be a setting. It's either got to be a setting in the game, which I doubt at this point because that doesn't seem to be the case. So I'm wondering what setting I did on the back end that might have caused it. Bruh, considering I was a console gamer for a very long period of time, and this is my first time experiencing good frame rate resolution combo, it is, I feel like it's more jarring for me.
How many years have I waited for this moment?
God, this particular scene is amazing. Also spoilers.
For the one that stood alone against the storm. For the one they called.
I mean, the good thing is that a lot of these are not like heavy on the spoiler, and it's honestly a little hard to figure out if they're actually spoiling you because you're just seeing like the bare minimum, kind of like the flavor. You're being shown the teaser to make you want to play. These are all just flashbacks to all the other different teaser videos. Including, but not limited to, when he was a bard in the A Realm Reborn trailer from way back when. Not even A Realm Reborn, actually. That is from the original 14. I'm aware. Well, technically that statement is both accurate and inaccurate. Because he is depicted as being Ardbert, but in actuality, I can't say that. In actuality, that part of the teaser trailer doesn't work because he doesn't exist.
What sayest thou, Master Matoya?
Also, his hair is wrong.
We may accept this fate or defy it, but we cannot deny it.
But the character is literally just used as a stand-in for your protagonist. So technically, he's supposed to be unnamed. God, I love the song. No.
I will hold the line.
Because that implies him becoming a Heartless. instead of just dying.
This town certainly has changed. I'm not at all for
No. And I mean, you also become aware of darkness.
I'm not going anywhere.
It's literally the entire premise of Shadowbringers. By that logic, your character becomes a Heartless. Yeah, I just keep looking over at the FPS and it's just 59. It's not changing at all. It's bugging the hell out of me. The moment I click off of that screen and I bring it up again, it'll say that it's 144. Yeah, see, it's back up to 143, 144. Well, I say C, but...
This tragedy, greater even than the seventh umbral calamity, must be undone.
Literally, there's almost no music. There's almost nothing in 14 that isn't a reference to something else.
Let it be unwritten.
Like shit, this angel creature that they show in the trailer is already in the game, and it was in the game prior to Shadowbringers expansion even existing. It's just in a hard mode dungeon that's extra, so unless you do it, you don't actually know about it. Same goes for the lion that you saw earlier.
Become the warrior of darkness.
And yeah, he doesn't wear the helmet. I just love this login screen and whatnot. It's just the best. But the moment I click over here, dwindle, dwindle, dwindle. Like it very quickly just goes 144, 112, 72, 59. And then it locks at 59. I don't get it. It's bugging the hell out of me. I should just deal with it. It's not that big a deal. I'm not playing anything super competitive or anything, so it's not like I need over 100 frames per second. Also, I need to turn the music up now because it is way too low. Now what do I do? I should actually play the game. It's only been a couple of days and I haven't even bothered to touch anything. What are we going to do with the patch story? Am I going to go Scholar for my patch story? I could do Gunbreaker or Dark Knight. I could probably try to swing Astro, but I need gear. I actually might do that. Yeah, that might actually be what I do. I actually could do Machinist as well, since it's 475 right now. I worry about trying to heal on a situation like this. Alright, fuck it. We'll summon our fairy and we'll see what we can do. We have to go to Girabania. 1,000 gil down the drain. Good times, good times. I'll be on at least for a little while. I keep forgetting that left click doesn't work the same way. I use the left click to turn the camera so often, and then I think like, oh, that's the direction and whatnot that I'm actually supposed to be facing. It's like, no, right click is how to change my facing direction, whereas left click is just to change where the camera's looking. But I can always turn myself. So there's that, but I guess the right click feels better for me anyways. Okay, we have to go here. You know, actually, I wanted to know. I know you can put a flag on the map with a controller pretty easily, but I have no idea how to do it on. I have literally no clue as to how to do it on PC. What's going on? Anything crazy? No, nothing really crazy. Mount Roulette. What do we get? Get the regalia. Oh, gotta turn around. Let's go this way. These are the players. Yep, and they're all watching cutscenes. I'm still fucked up about the fact that Kryl didn't get involved in the Shadowbringer stuff, that it was only those that actually did end up involved. This is always important. I don't know, this is a return destination for me. I'm not gonna bother. Zoom out a bit. This place feels really empty. There's a big old Ufarini there. Is that a blue mage? That is definitely a blue mage. I can see that staff from here. Level 70. I gotta get my blue mage to 70 as well. Do you have business? Just say the word. Yes. Yes, I do. I got big business. Oh god, I have literally no idea what patch story I'm even on. Every time I got time to play, I didn't focus on doing the patch story. I instead focused on leveling stuff. It's the only reason I have as many ADs as I do.
What news from the source?
Oh yeah, the fucking voices are very low. Ah, shit. Forgot I don't have autoplay going on here. I need to find out where that setting is again. Take me a second on
weapon.
console.
We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
Got that right.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Motherfucker's Thancred.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing
She
its
is
conclusion.
people's favorite for a reason.
Thanks in large part to Urianger and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white aurosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
Cool.
However...
Why is there always got to be bad news?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For
Oh.
that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allegan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within aurosite or any other crystal.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel.
Bathe in the blood.
I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allegan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I hope this is coming through okay for you guys, because it's kind of low on
I
my
know that you
end,
can
so...
ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found.
That's partially why I'm not talking over it or making, like, too many remarks. Because if anyone's tuning in just to kind of watch, you know, they want to hear the voices and whatnot. You don't want to overpower them. Like, yes, the chat bubble is still there and you can still see it.
Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
When he looks you deep in your eyes.
My apologies.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
Fucking
No.
hope not.
I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness.
Oh.
But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
Bruh, this has been Alphino all throughout this fucking expansion. No joke. This entire fucking expansion, when Alphino has been present, has been, let me go with you. I can't really help these guys with the do smart because I'm not super smart. But I have a way with talking. I'm mad that it took until the Endwalker expansion for him to finally get like a proper job, like proper class and whatnot. Because for the longest time, he's been a healer summoner. Because he has a carbuncle. He's had it for a while. But he's always been listed as like a kind of healer character. But his job was never specified properly because he's not a scholar, obviously. Because he doesn't have a fairy. He just has a regular ass carbuncle and he does heals. So the idea that until Endwalker he didn't have an actual job, it's like, alright, cool. Alright, what do we got here? We got some rare roast beef. Tenacity, vitality, determination. That'll be good for a tank. Direct hit, vitality, determination. That could work on either a physical DPS or tank, to be fair. Skill speed, vitality, direct hit. That's more in line with a physical DPS. We'll do the rare roast beef. Good to hold on to if I ever do any raiding stuff. Why do they have the positional markers? I don't understand why NPCs have this. Was it just something they had to implement for everything just because it would be easier than actually having to separate out NPC versus enemies? Because I noticed that when I was looking at my ferry has the positional markers showing that this is its front, this is the back area, and these are the flanks. But the ferry literally can't be attacked, so what is the necessity of it having those markers? Even if you go to PvP, the ferry can't be targeted. It doesn't have a health bar. So there's no necessity for it to have those markers. We have little time, so I'll be brief. A sin eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I ask for your assistance in slaying it. You could have asked anybody for that, though. The fuck? A sin eater? I had heard some few yet remained after the night had returned, but perhaps we should call the others. That will not be necessary. It is only a single sin eater, a simple task for our guard, I should think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But you do not underestimate your foes. However harmless they may seem, my men would do well to learn from your example. Let's be about it then. Me? Why not Alphino? I love this. Almost every single time that we hang out with Alphino and people give us the choices of stuff, there's always this like weird throwaway line of like Alphino's goofiness is thrown in there. It's my favorite because there's like a side story where Alphino is an artist in Shadowbringers, and in the patch story, I think like in the first one or the second one, I think it's either 5.1 or 5.2. You can make a joke by saying that you're the great Alphino and his compatriots, as just like a little gag. And I want to say it, but I'm not trying to do all that again. Excellent. Then let us make for Fort Job. He's actually really skilled, apparently. Like, it felt like you were gonna get caught because you were never told that Alphino had art skills or anything like of the sort. So when he's told to do an art piece, like a little portrait, you're like, oh shit, how the hell do we get out of this one? Then he does the portrait, it looks amazing, and you're like, wait, hold on, Alphino, Since fucking when do you know how to do art? And since when have you ever going to tell anyone else about this? Just sits there going, oh, I never planned on telling anyone. I'm a secret artist. If you would wait here a moment, I will gather the others. Oh, God. Speaking out loud in English seems to be very difficult for me today. Also, I'm going to bring up our thing real quick. Nope, still only hitting 60. For a second there, it said 143, and I was excited, but nope. Still 5960. You may not remember, but you have met these soldiers once before, though only in passing. Have I? Long have they awaited the opportunity to fight at your side. Hello, sir. I was at death's door that day after the Sin Eaters attacked. If you and yours hadn't come along, I'd have likely stepped through, and I wouldn't have been alone. Your courage and selflessness is something we all aspire to. I, too, was there that terrible day. My friend was transformed into a Sin Eater before my very eyes, and I had no choice but to cut her down. The thought of returning to the field, of holding a blade again, it filled me with dread. But that is no way to honor her or my comrades. And so I have returned. I swear I would not let you or anyone else down from this day forward. Oh, she's got beauty marks on here. You see this little mole there, Pleasure to meet you, miss. Truly, it seems like only yesterday I watched as you took flight astride an Amaro to go and save the Oracle. Strange to think the Yilmoran soldiers we once locked blades with are now on our side, but we will do our utmost to keep the peace here in Lakeland. Lakeland. We seem to be missing one. My apologies, Captain Lena. An elderly gentleman asked that I escort him to Clearmelt. It took longer than expected. Longer than I anticipated. I'll not begrudge your desire to help those in need, but a soldier must be punctual, especially when we play host to honored guests. Where's your helmet, sir? It won't happen again. The name's Thaler? Thaler? I'm sure you don't remember, but we met once before in the infirmary. Did we? Oh yeah, it's that guy. I asked you to deliver a message to the Exarch and the world and the Warrior of Darkness. Little did I know I was already talking to her. I think I made a comment about that when that actually happened. I was like, oh, you want me to deliver a message to myself? Alright. Self. Remember, deliver a message to Exarch and self. Don't give up, don't give in. I keep those words close to my heart, and the boundless, beautiful skies above serve as a reminder of their importance. Yeah, a day-night cycle is pretty great. Can't lie about that one. Oh, Monster Prom apparently just went on sale. Wow. How are you going to tell me an item went on sale and then when I tap the thing to tell me more information, not just immediately take me to the thing? Oh shit, it's down from 12 to 371. So if anyone wanted to pick up Monster Prom, it's like $4 on Steam right now. Whew. My friend got to see the Knight's return shortly before he passed. He left this world with a smile, satisfied with a glimpse of what was to come. But there are countless others who weren't so fortunate. They gave their lives for the promise of a future they'll never know, and so it falls to us to do everything we can to fulfill that promise. I mean, there are monster girlies in Monster Prom. I read all that. No matter what happens, we won't give up. We won't give in. It's a fun little game. I would recommend looking at like a little gameplay teaser of it. It's an interesting little thing. Actually, you can play it 4-player co-op if I remember correctly. It's kind of like a weird, almost dating sim-esque game that you can play co-op. You just allocate time to certain things, like do some studying today, and then everyone else picks their thing. Or go hang out with the cool kids. Your heroism has inspired all of our guardsmen in such the same manner. Why wouldn't you want to date a robot? Our scouts at the northern staging point have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. Let us not keep them waiting. I thought I was supposed to be fighting something, not doing a meet and greet. Is this the price you pay for popularity? Okay, and you got understandably modded on that one. Obviously, Twitch doesn't want you talking about vibrators just outright. Though you didn't get modded for Fleshlight, so I find that interesting. Is it Z? Yeah, Z brings me down quick. I mean, it doesn't work as well, though. A vibrator / fleshlight still requires you to do most of the work. If you date a robot, they handle the work. So it wouldn't be the same. It'd be more in line with, saying, like, dating your auto blow or whatever. It'd be slightly closer. Yeah, but that's an auto blow.
Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
Yeah, but even if you hook it up to one of those machines, it's not going to call you names or tell you to go faster, harder, and stuff like that. Whereas if you're fucking an actual robot, it has the ability to do all of that.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
By himself. Certainly it is no light warden, but nevertheless.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe, he did. Never seen anything like it.
Axe, you say?
So I says to him, who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness? And he says, no, I'm a warrior of light. And that was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
Warrior of light, you say?
Light? Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood. I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be her. The warrior of darkness.
Here, yes.
Eh? Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work
I
here
am
is
doing
done.
fine.
Return to your posts.
Having some issues because my game, for some reason, isn't running past 60 FPS at the moment, which kind of sucks, and I don't really know what's the cause of it, but fuck it, I'm dealing with it. Because it's not like the game's running any slower than usual.
I had hoped to fight at your side today, but I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
I apologize for the wasted journey. It seems I overestimated the threat. As for this warrior of light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the Flood.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to reclaim
the
it.
truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world. Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystarium? There is a proposal I should like to make.
Forgive me. There is one more thing.
There's always one more thing.
A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
Obviously.
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch.
Of course it does. Otherwise you wouldn't have wanted to speak privately. And we would have just spoke in the chamber that we were in earlier.
Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating.
Hold on. Run that by me one more again. You said he tried to open a letter with a salmon fillet? And you don't think his mind is deteriorating? What?
Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true. It is for this reason that I seek your advice.
Are you going to ask me how to make him happy?
Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was. He seems a different man, a younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy.
Okay, so it's a good thing.
It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there. Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past, remind him of all the pain that came before. that so? Then perhaps we might remain as we were. As we have always been. What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work. This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
I mean, someone has to. Okay. Before we move forward onto this, we're going to take a quick little break. Quick little bathroom break. I will be right back. All right, and I'm back. Whew. I'll switch back over and unmute. I might have to start leaving that the audio active when we're on a be right back screen because it's not too bad. Yeah, I'll probably end up doing that. Alright. I have no idea where I'm. Actually, I'm going to do a quick little search to figure out what patch I'm actually currently in. Shadowbringers quests. Okay, where are we right now? Currently talking to Lena, and she is not the quest giver until a little bit later. So what are we on right now? Facing the truth. Okay, so we're right here. So I'm in 5.2 right now. What is this? Is this a trophy? A title. Wait, if I have this title, I won't own it. Go to profile. Should be on here. Distant Stargazer is like the one I got. Oh, yeah, here it is, right at the end. It was completed. The achievement's called Black and White, and the title is Of Virtuous Deeds. I don't dislike it. The random dragon over there. I do need to up my gear. Might actually think about queuing myself for a couple of dungeons while I'm waiting. No. Here we go. Duties. Duty finder is you. Gotta remember that. I don't want to do my roulettes as much as I want to just do stuff like this. So I can do the Grand Cosmos now, as that has a minimum item level 430, which means technically both my Astra and my Scholar can do that. What about DPS wise? Do I have anything? Summoner can do it. Yeah, the rest aren't even level 80, so wouldn't even really matter. Because I only have Summoner and Machinist that are even high enough level to do these particular dungeons. What's this one? 410. The Twin Ending has the best fucking music though. But I'm gonna use the Grand Cosmos because I need gear. Now my only concern. Damn it. My only concern now is whether or not I'll be able to heal. Oh god. I'm ad-lowing when I shouldn't be. Already not doing wonderful at this. I'm trying, but my immediate brain went to mush, like literally as we started that poll. I am trying to do my very best, and it is... I feel bad because I'm technically going to slow down this entire dungeon because of it. But this is one of those things of like, you should definitely be doing this. As a healer, you should always do this. Tell your tank if you're not comfortable with big pulls, because then they can try to do better. To keep everything a little bit better on you. I don't think I'm in that. It's one of my problems with Lustre. It doesn't feel like it's as strong as it should be. this should be the best spot to not be affected by any of that. Yep, we're good. Woo! Whoop. God. I am doing terrible right now. Like I'm only keeping the tank alive on the grace that is the tank is doing better than I am. That was pretty scary. Could greed that if it turns out that they don't want it. And that, but I don't have that. Or I have it already, I mean. Alright, can I remember that and that as a safety net. Shit, you know what? Keep forgetting I can just do this. There we go. Catalyze. Give him a big shield. That's another thing. I didn't use my Seraph at all in that last combat. I can pass on that. I don't have anyone high enough for that. That was a nice 20,000 crit. But I still very much worry. Oop. Doing it again. I got a quick time. I think if I remember, I got a spell speed. So it should actually be pretty good. Oh, no, I targeted the wrong person. That's on me. I worry now that I look at this because of the fact that I'm healing okay, but not amazingly at all. But my big issue situations like this where I see like he's getting really bad fucked up. Ooh. Shit, we are kind of, yeah, we're really close to each other on that one. Whew. Can I read this? No, I already have it. Read that maybe? I am literally going to try to greed things. Only out of the idea that maybe I'll get lucky and I'll be able to get gear for like some of my other jobs. But the issue is we do have a melee, we have a range. The only thing we don't have is a magical DPS right now. I think I've gotten a little more comfortable with the use of emergency tactics. So if I pop a shield on someone and, you know, the shield is already there, Might as well pop the emergency tactics. Damn, magical DPS would have been the only time I could have actually gotten it. He's getting fucked up. I guess the one benefit is he's also a paladin, so I have a little bit of easier time. It's like I said yesterday, paladins are the best for when you're learning, because there's always a high likelihood that they'll actually be able to help you. Pop emergency to give them a bigger heal. I barely made it to safety there. This is why I should just be a DPS instead of being a tank and whatnot. Or tank, I guess I could do fine. I haven't done this yet. Pretty sure I moved out of the way. Fuck off. this guy. This guy was way too close. Oh god. Whew. Monk and Samurai, I'm not doing that. Apologies, not very much commentary throughout that because I was so busy thinking just like, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that. Like, I feel like doing that with keyboard and mouse was generally way more stressful than when I play on controller, because on controller, yes, it's still stressful. Like, the stress does not just disappear simply because I'm on controller. The difference is what type of stress, pretty much. Because when I'm on controller, my stress more comes from remembering what hotbar I might have put certain spells on, so having to quickly switch and hold this and that in order to do this and that. But 9 times out of 10 I can do all of that without any issues. For this, the problem is that my brain is like, okay, you have to use your WASD to move around, and you have to use your right click so that you're facing the way that you're going when you're moving forward. Whereas, like, yes, I can use the fucking WASD just like that and use WA and D at least to move out of certain circumstances, but obviously I can move the camera faster, so I can just hold W and then just be like, oh nope, not that way, not that way, not that way, go that way, not that way. But the problem is, while I'm using the camera control for this, I can't hit keys down here, so I'll sit there being like, oh shit, and then having to hit hotbar buttons. So I guess I should get more used to using the W, A, and D at least in order to slow turn my camera, in order to avoid AoEs while still using my normal button presses. I did okay for the most part. It took me a while to start actually using my fairy's abilities. I got lucky because we had a paladin, and since paladins have the ability to heal themselves, it's a lot easier to not have to worry as much. But I did eat through all of my mana. Like, on 2 separate occasions at the end of a boss fight, I had 0 mana. Or at the end of a couple pulls, actually. There was a pull and a boss fight where I had 0 mana at the end, which is not good, because honestly that would have spelled really bad news if I didn't notice it like faster. Now, luckily I didn't have to res anybody, though obviously I had issues where I had to quickly switch over and click on like, oh, the DPS is low, and then quickly pop a lustrate on them to get their health up to full. Pop sucker in order to make sure that everyone has full coverage. But because of that, okay, so that's part of the reason why I lost so much goddamn mana, is because Adloquium is 1000 MP on its own, and Succor is 1000 MP on its own. I only have 10k total mana thanks to the changes they did with mana. Which means I'm constantly under pressure to try to balance out what spells I'm using. Luckily, all of these spells that cost Aether Flow don't cost mana, and my fairy skills don't cost mana, so it's literally just down to like these three, and then these. And I guess my issue I have is that, God damn it, I moved this while we were in combat earlier, and I don't know why it's even movable considering the lock is there. But, freaking trying to do damage at the same time as healing feels dangerous to me. Like, I already have issues doing that when I'm playing on controller, because in higher tier dungeon stuff, like in this endgame stuff, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to have this effect of being like, oh, I might not be able to do this properly or something like that. What did I actually obtain? Did I get anything out of that? Like, I got money obviously, but did I actually get anything? Has been added to Lucis, placed in the army chart. So I got an Earring of Fending. Is it under events or is it under battle? Wouldn't really make sense to be under battle. That's dumb of me. It says I obtained the earring, but I think that might have been the only thing I was able to get. Bunch of spirit stuff got bonded to me. Got some tomestones, which is good because I actually kind of need them. I don't know if I have nearly enough currency in order to actually do anything with it though. No, that's not. That doesn't matter. How do we get to currencies? Like, my guilds are here. Okay, so yeah, I can do that. Manderville, I have 80,000. Company sales, I'm maxed out. 1130 for my normal poetics. 401 on the allegory, and only 31 on revelation. And I can only get 450 within a week for revelation. Which sucks. Honestly, I don't understand why that's the case. Because it feels like if it's only 450 per week, like the whole week, that literally means that you can't even buy a full piece of gear for the most part. Like, well, you can't buy like chest armor or leg armor, I guess, with that. See, I didn't get anything crazy out of that. If we switch over to Dark Knight, I don't think I got anything useful out of that. The Ward Bracelet, I think. Yeah, that's the thing they told me, like, oh, you already have this. And for Gunbreaker, same. I guess it makes sense. They both use pretty much the same gear, so if the Dark Knight isn't going to get any new things, then it doesn't really make sense that the other one would. I'm mad that I wasted tomestones on this, because I wound up just getting the Neo-ish Guardian gear. Work is 445 as well. Wait, so Warg is the best stuff I can get in that particular dungeon. But the Deep Shadow stuff is 460. The Neo-ish Guardian stuff, I don't even know where to get that because I don't have the dungeon, I guess, maybe? Because it's 480. And the Relic weapon is 485 at current. My Dark Knight version is the more proper, and that's 500. So I've only seen the Neo-ish Guardian gear in the shops. Should I just do tank? I feel like if I keep doing healer, I'm gonna hate myself because I'm gonna be really bad at it. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, it's Fate. I was so fucking confused. I was like, wait, what the fuck is this wyvern doing here? And it's like, who the fuck is that guy? The 5 level difference between the two of them. Man's gonna die. Yeah, not level syncing for this. I feel like I might need to just settle on being a DPS for a little while. You literally just told me there was a change. Oh well. Did he run away or did he die? Oh, he ran away. He's right there. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That's weird. Alright, close all that on my phone. Alright. Thought I saw something on the edge of the house here. I'm like just outside of it now? Weird. What do I do? Do I continue as a tank to make it a little bit easier so I don't have to really worry as much? Or do I do DPS instead in order to have even less to worry about while I learn to play on keyboard or mouse? Okay, clicking the score wheel seems to be just auto run. For the most part, as a tank, I feel like with my Dark Knight, I don't have to worry as much. Wait, what did I say Warg was? The Warg was 445, right? Yeah, 445. So potentially, it won't help my Scholar from the looks of it, I think. Well, no, it will, because my Scholar is rocking a lot of really shit gear. Got a lot of 430 stuff. I have some Neo-ish Guardian stuff and whatnot. Yeah, what the fuck? Hold on. How is my Scholar even 447 with the amount of 430 gear I am rocking? Like, what the fuck? It's probably because of my accessories. These are all 450. And then this is 450, and then this is 485, so this is like a big boost. Yeah, I actually do need to do that one. Should I do it with the Scholar, or should I do it with Astro, though? 9 times out of 10, Astro has been touted as being the unfortunate healer because it's not nearly as good. Scholar's shields are usually more beneficial, and White Mage's regen is more beneficial, whereas Astro, as a regen healer, can cover the base that I want to cover in that regard. But I mean, the idea is that Scholar has the benefit of a fairy that has, you know, free reign and whatnot, and that costs nothing. And the fact that playing as an Astro means that you have to draw cards pretty continuously, or constantly I should say, and making sure you're giving those cards to the right people. Kind of feel like I might as well make a small little hotbar and then move it up here with all of my card stuff, so I can just be like draw and then play by clicking on the person as well. I don't think, yeah, Astro's pretty much in the same boat probably, right? Yeah, they're barely enough to do this particular dungeon. And they're all 430 as well, with the exception of the Yorha gloves that I got lucky to get, which is 460. But I worry about doing that rando wise. Okay, fuck it, let's do it. I need better healer gear and I don't have it, so this is my best option right now. I could go and I should actually teleport to Yulmore as well, just to check how much I need in tomestones in order to get by. Fucking everything, Annie, Jesus Christ. Can't do Aetherflow just yet. This could be dangerous. Alright, so far so good actually. They did a pretty good job of covering themselves, honestly. Also, given that they're level 80 on everything, I will take a wild guess and say their gear is actually really good. So I don't have to worry as much about them dying. Okay, so you guys continue. I was gonna like start casting, but then I was worried like she was gonna just move on. Okay, she shouldn't get out of my range. Nope. fucking stop targeting her. This is going to take the longest to get to. Nope. Go that way. I feel like I don't have an AoE heal that's like really reliable. Except for Fey Blessing, which has a full minute cooldown. There we go. Traffic vow right at the end. Whew. Okay. I'm doing way better than I expected, honestly. Pass. Pass. I can't do any. My machinist has really good gear, and my whatchamacallit. My machinist has good gear and my Dark Knight has good gear, so grabbing anything from my tank or ranged physical DPS is out of the question. It won't help me. So pretty much right now, all I can grab from this dungeon that makes sense to me is healer gear and maybe DPS caster gear. Anything past that feels unnecessary. Sprint to catch up because we are falling behind. Ooh, this one gets bad. Trying, my buddy. Alright, I think we're doing okay. Okay, let's try to greed that. I don't think we have anyone that can take it from us. I think that's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm just gonna start dotting like random enemies, like big enemies maybe, and then following the tank. Oh, I used recitation too soon. Fuck. Forgot about that actually. So I have to hopefully get lucky on this one. Why is this almost like all fending here? Jesus. Doing okay considering this is a level 80 dungeon. I'm still having to avoid AoEs. But I think I'm getting too overconfident in myself. I'm definitely using emergency tactics way more than I did before. I've gotten way better at using it proper. My big fuck up in the past was the fact that emergency tactics was a spell that I thought was different than it is. Like, that's the problem. Alright, full Aether Flow, full Fairy Gauge. We're doing pretty good. We're going into this final boss with like a good amount of our resources. And recitation's not on fucking cooldown this time. Back to us. Just go straight through him. Messed up. Oh, I fucked up. I keep fucking up that part. actually say GG pretty quick as well. Yay! We finally got a fucking healing item. Oh, I got 2-player accommodations again. Okay, so I was definitely, like the first time through, I was like, okay, the only reason this went, like, kind of easy was because we had a paladin. And I told the paladin to take it easy on me, which meant they were going to do smaller pulls. So generally, I made that first run an easy run for myself. The second run, however, was with a Dark Knight. Dark Knight only has some innate healing in their basic combo stuff, but not much. But not once did they pop Living Dead or Walking Dead. Well, Living Dead becomes Walking Dead, but anyways. So, happy that that never happened. But the unfortunate part is that gear is also pretty important in this. And since it sinks you down to 470, but you can do it at 430, there's a 40 item level difference between those people just getting at the ground floor and that person. So there's a high likelihood they could be rocking like 500 or 490 gear that's been dropped down to 470, which means they're still going to do a shit ton of damage and probably take a lot less damage as well. But we finally got an upgrade. We finally got the coat. Which... it's okay. I don't love it. I feel like the part of it I like the least is this like fur thing that's got going on over the shoulders. I feel like the rest of it I'm okay with. Because I like it. It kind of reminds me of like a hoodie. So I'm like more okay with the rest of it. And it's got like a dressy kind of feel to it for the rest of it. I just don't like this fur. Like this kind of like real or fake fur, who knows. The fur is the only part I really don't like about it. Otherwise, I don't hate it. It's going to fuck up my glamour for a little bit, unfortunately, because we're not even wearing our normal glamour stuff. So, unfortunate. Yeah, that one change brought us up to 448. So this is what we look like right now. There's our HUD gone. It's not terrible, yeah. Like I said, when I saw it in the gear area, I like it for the most part. That hasn't changed. I just don't like this fur. This fur, I don't like it. I feel like remove that fur and I'm okay with the rest of it. No problem. Oh wait, take that off first. Also, I keep hitting the escape key to open up the system menu when in reality, like, because I'm used to hitting the start button on controller and it would just bring up this menu pretty much, like the character, duty, logs, this little side button menu. It would pop up as an actual UI when you play on controller. And then it would have like a little, like a cross media bar almost, like on PlayStation. It has a similar feel to that. So, but I keep hitting escape thinking that that's going to be brought up, when in reality it's like, no, I just want to hit one of those buttons down below or know the key shortcut for it. This time I did it because I wanted to check the frame rate, which honestly I shouldn't have been surprised that it hasn't changed. Alright, let's try again. The more I do it, the more used to healing as a scholar again that I'm going to get. So, this is good practice for me. There's also avoiding, because I'm a caster, I'm avoiding stuff. Got another Dark Knight, who, unlike the other, doesn't have a million things at level 80. So, this might be the true test. Wait, is my fairy with me? Yeah, fairy is with me. got me real fucked up. Oh, nice. It was a crit immediately. Still doing pretty good, actually. I definitely gotta remember, I gotta use my fairy stuff as often as I can. Like, yes, some of it has a long cooldown, like Fey Illumination right there might not have been super necessary. Like, that was a pretty decently big pull that has, like, some possibility for problems. I need to do that so I can get Aether Flow open. Yeah, I'm good. Oh god, this man's just having to move all over the place. There we go, he's back to full. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, actually. Like, I can't say I can help as much when it comes to DPS because I'm not super used to like tab targeting over to enemies to hit them with something. At most, all I can do is just boom, do a dialysis right off the bat, and then make sure I concentrate on my tank in that given moment. Oh, I forget some of these actually cost gauge. If I stand back here, I should be good for a little bit. Because that broom isn't going to hit this area yet. Get that galvanize on everybody. I'm in a good spot for right now. We just gotta bring it close. And then hope that doesn't push out enough to hurt. Oop. Oh, why did I go straight? Fuck, that's a waste. Woo! I keep having like these moments where I'm like, dude, Do I pat myself on the back? Oh yeah, woo! And I got some shoes. Can't take the tank stuff. I have to keep reminding myself to not take the tank stuff. Oh, goddamn, no, this coffer. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. It super wasn't worth it. What was inside there was not worth it. Not at all. Oh, I don't need sucker now. Here we go. Sure, you don't need anything. He's currently good. Aos kept critting on him. Her crits are not nearly massive enough, so it doesn't cause any problems. I need to do that more. Just run in Art of War once at least. Do the safety XCOG on there. Hopefully they... Okay, yeah, he got them. I was very worried. God, the worst part of this whole thing is the fact that I'm having to look at my hotbars to make sure I'm pressing the right buttons. And immediately freaking out because I'm like, wait, I had to look down a bit so I can't see if my tank needs more healing or less healing. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Hey, Black Mage? Or Red Mage? Yeah, hey, Red Mage. You wanna move into the bubble? Your toe isn't enough. Woo. What do we get? Headpiece is for Samurai Monk, and that's also a pass. I don't know why it took so goddamn long for me to get my own shit. Sprint. Sir, you could always just not. I don't understand why there's always just that one enemy that chooses to be like, hey, you over there, I saw you was healing. I'm not very appreciative of you healing. I'm gonna be real fucking rude and I'm gonna tell you to stop. There's always just one. See what I mean? He literally came over here just to attack us. It's like, bruh, can you not? May have noticed that I am remarkably calm concerning the circumstance. Considering the circumstance, I should say. There we go. Why is it taking so long? I'm sorry. I shouldn't complain like that. I shouldn't be like, why is it taking so long to get through this fucking fight? Jesus. Because in reality, it's probably me. It's probably me. Because I'm not doing like damage. I'm literally focusing on just healing the whole time. Boop, and crit shield, give him an X-Cog, get this full up, move to the other fucking side as to not have to worry about that ether pack, so I don't have to worry about his healing. Jesus, could you not get yourself almost killed? Please and thank you. Oh shit, that's right, I forgot that explodes. This is gonna hurt. They might die, actually. Pretty soon, actually. Sir, do you mind staying by the ferry? I would appreciate it. Chose me as number one. Oh. Oh shit, okay. Oof. Red mage. That's gonna hurt. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh god, sorry. Couldn't find my cursor. Oh, this might kill me? I don't think so. Oh, Captive Roll is a tank buster. What am I talking about? Oh god, that was... Whew. That was terrifying. It'd be nicer if we were all closer together. It'd be easier. Give me next. You know, something I realize is that I have not once seen a proper limit break during that boss fight. Is it because he moves around too much? Because that would make sense to me. Read that if I can. Woo! Okay, so having those two next to each other on the keyboard actually wasn't that bad. I didn't feel like it was, I didn't feel it was necessary to have the macro. Like, yeah, the macro would have been literally me sitting on one key, just clicking it to do swift cast and then raise immediately afterwards. But the fact that I put them right next to each other on the hotbar didn't really change much. It was just as good. Though I'm still fucking up. This is something that I do regularly. I overanalyze everything I'm doing, and I'm not overanalyzing to the point of like I realize there's 1% more damage I could have been doing or some shit like that. No, it's more so there are abilities more often than not that I forget to use. For instance, I should be trying to charge up my fairy gauge before every boss fight and then using Aether Pact to make sure that the tank is good and topped up no matter what, and I can focus on either healing the other members of the team or focusing on doing damage. Like, that should be a thing I should be doing, and same goes for my Seraph. If anything, I should be using that specifically for boss fights, because I would say it takes about 2 minutes between boss fights, depending on how quick you're killing all the mobs and whatnot, because I was able to summon it in our second boss fight and then later summon it in the third. So I should be using that more often. The issue I think that I'm having is I'm activating Whispering Dawn and Fey Illumination too close to when I end up later summoning Seraph. Fey Illumination has the same 2-minute fucking recast as Seraph, so I really should be trying to, when using Seraph, use Fey Illumination in combination, or better yet, when Seraph is summoned, I'd be using Seraphic Illumination instead, which isn't too different from what this is normally, so it's not a big deal. And Whispering Dawn is the same general idea. You still get the regen and all that. It just changes from Whispering Dawn to Angel's Whisper. And it's the same effect regardless of whether Seraph or Eos is out. So really, I could use them either way. I just feel like the Seraphic version is going to be generally better. So it feels like I should be trying to get that one. The benefit is that Seraph is still kind of automatic the same way Eos is, where Eos would cast Embrace on people that take damage in order to help you out with healing. The problem is I feel like there's no like queue for Embrace, or there is. That's the thing. There's no sense of urgency. That's what I should say. The pet doesn't understand urgency. So it doesn't look at someone that took most of their health and damage and go, that's the one I need to heal now. Instead, it'll go based on a queue system, like people lined up. It's like, oh, this person took like 10 damage at the start of the fight. Need to heal them first. And then go down the list through all of them. As opposed to what would be better, where they have a sense of urgency, and someone that takes more damage they will focus on. To be fair, their healing is obviously not better than your healing. It is complementary, not a replacement. So generally, your healing is the good single target healing that you need, whereas your fairy or your angel, your seraph, their healing is specifically just to complement your healing, to make it better. Also to kind of ease your stress slightly, though as a healer you never really lose the stress because you're constantly worrying about your teammates dying. See, this sucks because we ended that dungeon and I got like literally almost nothing. I got the healing jacket on our last run, and then this run we got shoes, which is nice. My issue after I just talked about shoes. Anyways, my issue is that I feel like if maybe this is something that they only do in like the older expansion stuff, but I feel like there was this thing. Where is it? I want this one, yeah. And we want to go to Yulmore. I think there's a repair shop there as well that I need. But my issue is that when you do dungeons before, at least when you did dungeons before, the general idea was that the dungeon that you were going into and you completed would usually have gear for you at the end. Look at that man looking all cool with his Dark Knight sword. You would literally sit there and you'd be like, all right, cool. Well, here's my completion. What do I get? And it's like, obviously there's a chest at the end as well that you can pop open. But in the earlier dungeons and all of the other expansions, as far as I've known, I haven't paid nearly enough attention nowadays as I did before. So I have no clue anymore. That looks so cool. I love that outfit. It's not this thing. It's whatever Eastern Later Errant's coat. It looks cool. I like it. Is it dyeable? Probably not, right? Let's put on our other gear to make us look less naked. Yeah, see, I like it. They're wearing it on their dancer, so probably looks better there. I should really stop doing that. If I'm trying to look around, I should just use the left stick. Gotta remember that. Nope. Alright. Why did I go to other first? This is for all the stuff that usually upgrades or things. Okay. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. Move this a bit so that the thing is not in the way. The legs and the chest alone are 825 per. Shit, the headpiece and the shoes and even the gloves are 495. So think about that, and then remember that for the Revelation, which is the higher tier tombstone, you can only get 450 of those in a week. Meaning, in a singular week, unless you're striving to only get like accessories, I assume, you can't even buy a piece of gear within a week off of the tombstone farm, specifically for Revelations. Which, I guess that's fine. I feel like it shouldn't be that low. It should probably be like 500, I feel like, a week. That way you could pick up like your gloves, or you could pick up your boots or whatever. Because otherwise the only other option is to go do the raids. And that also has its own issue of like, oh, you did the raid, well here's the raid gear that you can get. Which you can apparently, like, when you run those raids, there's like a limit to the gear you get and whatnot. So it has its own limitations there too. This is one of those things that like tends to be the reason for why I don't play stuff on content. At most, I will play an expansion on content. That I will do. However, I will usually not do raids, savage trials, extreme trials, anything like that. I don't usually do that on content, mostly because 9 times out of 10, I just don't have the patience for it. I can't see myself sitting there spending hours making minor progress on a raid. And obviously I know that like the normal raid, for instance, doesn't take that long, because the normal raid you can see all of the AoEs and stuff like that. So usually it could take, it might take an hour or so your first time through, maybe. But on, like, I assume the normal raids go through without much of a hitch, and that's not too big of a deal. And I understand that. But my thing is that also requires that everyone be fully geared out, fully materiated, and have food, and have pots. Like, maybe the pots aren't super necessary as much, I guess, but I have no idea. But from my perspective, that is a lot of preparation that has to go into just the baseline of being able to do a singular raid. So, like, that's the only reason, like, I haven't done any of the Shadowbringers raid stuff. Like, I haven't done any of the, like, was it, like, Omegascape or whatever that stuff was. I haven't done the weapons either, like Ruby weapon, Emerald weapon. We're gonna get Diamond weapon eventually, and I'm not even near the ability to do so. So it's like, it's not even like, it's not even in my mind to think that that's a possibility. I do need to put up an alarm, that's right. There we go. Alright. So I really only have like an hour and a half before I have to get off. Because then I gotta make dinner, and I gotta prep for a game. Which I keep debating whether or not I want to bother, because I kind of want to stream our Roll20 games, but I feel bad because I'm like, we are in the middle of a campaign. It's not at the beginning, it's not at the end. We're literally midway through, quote unquote. And there's also the fact that a lot of our sessions either get canceled, we don't do it every single week, or because of the small amount of players we do have. Like, my game that I run only has 4 players. Yeah, but I still feel weird about it, because it feels weird because there's no introduction. Like, all of the characters would be introduced at a state that they are not just starting out, and there's no like weird awkwardness really that you get at the beginning of a campaign where everyone has to introduce themselves, they have to get used to each other and all that, like character wise, I mean. And I mean, technically we are on a new arc. You guys have just started this new arc, really. But I worry too much about the fact that I'm super inconsistent when it comes to our games, because I worry that I'm not going to have enough prepped that I want to have prepped in order to have you guys have a game. So sometimes I'll just be like, nah, I'm good. I guess. But I mean, I guess that only works because they're famous, though. Let's be real. Same goes for like most podcast-based tabletop stuff. It's like notable people doing it already, so it's kind of like, obviously they'll have an audience, even if they start like not at the very beginning. I'm just too overly critical of my own nonsense. And then at the same time, I'm also unfortunately lazy. That's only because a lot of people, when they think of tabletop, they just immediately think of D&D. Because that is the norm. Starfinder and Pathfinder are like the off, like to most people, those feel like the off-brand. Like the average person hears those and goes, "What? What the fuck is that?" It's like, "Oh, you mean D&D, right?" And it's like, "No, this is yes and no. The systems are similar, but not exactly the same." Oh, God. This is the lack of a webcam on my end as well, so I feel like it would suck a little bit more in that regard. It would literally be just a podcast. Like, I would probably just stream it, include our Discord audio, and then try to keep us more in check than before. But then there's the fact that I might not always be ready to handle myself. See, I don't really have a preference one way or the other. I've played a lot of Starfinder now, and I like it. But my experience with D&D has literally only been like one game. And that's it. So I don't even have enough bearing on overall D&D, whether it be 5e or earlier, to make any judgment. I mean, there's no reason to be like adverse to the other. It's like, yeah, you have your personal preferences and that, you know, that's all cool. But we're all playing tabletop together. Let's, you know, we're all cool and whatnot. Yeah, but that you can say that literally about any game, regardless of tabletop or video game. The flaws of anything will show the more you play it. pretty much everyone's favorite game. Like, you know it's your favorite, but you have to acknowledge that it has faults. There's no perfect game, really. I don't know. I'm trying. I don't know about that. I've seen people do some crazy stuff in 5e as well. See, as someone that hasn't played nearly as much, I can say I am too. That's what I mean. I'm trying to say that at the end of the day, both allow for a vast array of customization. You know, it's just preference. There's no reason to specifically state, like, oh, well, you shouldn't play that one because it has flaws. And it's like, no, I mean, if you want to play it, you want to play it. You know, just have fun with it. And people have said, I've watched people talk about their characters in D&D, that these crazy customizations that they put together and made a really cool character that didn't have any homebrew at all. But it's like official material stuff that they put together. And I understand that Starfinder and Pathfinder have their own, like, mix of that as well. But it's like, I mean, there's no reason to be like, oh yeah, no, it's not as good though. What do you mean? Like, when you say a monolith? Oh, okay. So you wish it didn't have, like, the focus, I guess? As much of the focus, I should say. Because I can definitely agree with you on that. I do wish there was more. I do wish there was more people that I could just watch that are doing a play, like a campaign in Starfinder or something. Because personally, I have a lot of fun with Starfinder, and I would like to see different stories and whatnot. But, you know, popular does, you know, shit happens. I mean, shit, there's people still to this day that just dislike anything that's popular. Like, I was pretty adverse to PUBG due to its popularity, but also because of its bugs, so at least I had the justification that early access PUBG was shit. Then there was Fortnite, to which my legitimate criticism of Fortnite was the fact that I just couldn't get on with buildings. That was never going to be a thing for me. But in addition to that, it became extremely popular off of a kind of a lie almost. Like, literally, the developers decided to develop a PvE game first and then decided to tack on a battle royale and then entirely shifted focus away from the PvE that they started on to entirely go to the battle royale. And I will still I will still tote that as being one of my biggest annoyances when it comes to the creators of Fortnite. Like, there's literally no reason that you couldn't have done both. The amount of, like, FU money that they have nowadays feels unreasonable, and it feels like they could have already finished the Save the World thing that was original concept idea long before now. But there's that one. I mean, Apex also became extremely popular, and Warzone too, and people didn't want to play those because they were popular. I don't play Warzone because I'm not a big Call of Duty person. I've tried it a couple of times, and I think it's fun and all, but I feel like you have to play with a crew. You can't play with randoms. Whereas Apex, I could just hop in, play with randoms, and everything's cool. I can do that. I can have a lot of fun with Apex. It just happens to also be kind of popular in that regard. Sorry, I've been ranting, so I have not been looking at the chat for the last like 3 odd messages, looks like. I want the smaller games to get more mention or more attention. I only criticize 5e so much because I want people to expand their horizons. Yeah, I understand that. There's a lot of good stuff. It being so streamlined lets people get into tabletop. Yep. List Apex and Warzone add new spins in comparison to Fortnite. Yeah. There's also the fact that all Fortnite does nowadays is just, hey, you know that character that you really like that's like cool, like Iron Man or Thanos or the Mandalorian? They're here now. They're in the game. I feel like that's all Fortnite does now, is just try to blind you with the massive amount of like fan service. Like that is exactly what it is. Fortnite currently has now devolved into just fan service the game in order to make you pay out the ass for these skins and whatnot. Because I'm assuming none of these are earnable for free. See, my thing is, I feel like a lot of people, are, at least in this regard, I feel like Fortnite versus Apex feels like you play one or the other, or you play both. In this regard, like either you just play Fortnite or you just play Apex, and if you play both, 9 times out of 10, you might play one of them less than the other. Like you might stop playing Fortnite a bit more to play more Apex, which what I just said doesn't make a lot of sense, honestly. But yeah, I feel like Fortnite has just become, oh, hey, here's that thing that you think is kind of cool and you think is kind of interesting. Now give us money to play as that. Whereas, yeah, Apex feels like it's just generally got overall I would say a better balance. It's got a good balance of characters that have no reference whatsoever to anything other than the fact that like a character might be of a particular race, so you might like them because of that representation that they have, but that's all. Really, most of the Apex characters are just representatives of their particular culture, which is cool. And like obviously they started adding in more characters that had backstory and whatnot, which was nice. But it has definitely become iffy. Because it's become a weird situation where, like, I'm hoping Apex doesn't fuck this up somewhere down the line. Yeah, I know. I remember because I had to play Rampart a bunch after I got all the characters unlocked and whatnot. And they fucking do that thing. I went through and looked at all her poses because I was like, oh, I got a bunch of crafting materials. Let me look at the poses for some of these characters. And I remember that one specifically because I was like, ew. Like, I already didn't love Rampart as it is because her gameplay feels too much like stationary for what this game is supposed to entail. And it feels like pretty much she's not super useful until you get to like the final couple of teams and you've already set up. Like, I feel like her as a legend is not super great to start with. But to add on the fact that just she drops her gum straight on the floor, steps on it, then pulls the gum off the shoe to chew on it again. Like, what woman? Please. No. It's worse when you know for a fact that she works in a mechanic shop. So that floor is disgusting. To be fair, I don't like most of the characters, so I just played Bloodhound. There's not much to hate or love about Bloodhound aside from the Plague Doctor costume. I mean, you don't like the characters in terms of like their actual character or their skins. Like, what do you mean? Like, Revenant, I know, they gave him a lot of sick skins. The only one I think I have is the Dead Knight skin thing. I think that's the only one I have for Revenant. But he's got a lot of really cool ones. But is it like, you don't like any of the characters' gameplay or their backstory? Because I feel like there's no, like, I don't understand how you would be, like, against maybe, like, Pathfinder or Lifeline or something. I don't know about all that. First off, the game is literally a shooter, so what the hell does it matter that the dialogue is not great? First off. Secondly, I don't know. I don't have that same feeling. I feel like a lot of the dialogue is great. Some of it's a little goofy at times, or excessive in some. Like, playing as Revenant sucks because you constantly are just telling people to fuck off when you're not trying to be mean. So, sometimes that feels a bit excessive, but... Well, yeah, they're just supposed to, though. Wraith is literally, like, a big sufferer of fucking PTSD. And she's having to deal with that on a regular basis, and no one understands that. And Mirage is literally trying to be the face of Apex. But obviously he's struggling to keep that popularity while also having to deal with his own side stuff, like the fact that his mother is forgetting who he is over time. Like, obviously this is lore shit, so this isn't something the average person gets right off the bat. But when you're paying attention to their dialogue to begin with, like, yeah, you know, these are things you have to keep in mind. And, like, the best part is that Mirage's interactions with a lot of characters is great. Yes, his dialogue for the most part is really cringy, but it's supposed to be. Because, let's be real, he's trying too hard to be the famous one. Yeah, and I'm well aware. I'm not saying what they're saying is important, and I do understand it's how they're saying it. But that doesn't matter, really. First off, it's a gun game. Like I said earlier. So, how or what they say doesn't actually have any bearing on anything. And then, how they say things is exactly how it should be based on their characters. I assume that when the voice actors were brought in to voice the characters, they were given a little readout that says, like, here's the basis of your character. This is how they should be. Yeah, but that's the thing. You're almost discounting characters for almost nothing. Like, fair, I don't like Wraith all that much, and I don't love Mirage's dialogue either, but it took zero time to understand that his character's cringy on purpose, and that learning even the basis amount of lore of the overall allows you to learn more about characters like Mirage and why he is the way he is. But yeah, the same could be said for Wraith. Like it's not necessity to learn their lore in order to enjoy their characters. But it's like, at the same time, this is a game, like, if we ignore that they have maybe bad dialogue or maybe have bad delivery or anything like that, if we take it at its base for what Apex is, ignoring some of the characters of the game kind of limits your ability to play really well in the game, potentially. Because Bloodhound is great for the ability that they can spot enemies and whatnot, but there are other characters that have really good abilities. Like Mirage, you might dislike what he sounds like, what he says, how he says it, but his ability for decoy is really good, and people fuck up and get caught because of Mirage all the time. And his ability to go invisible while reviving you is another really good ability. His multi-decoy thing is a little iffy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's one of those things where if you ignore their dialogue, a lot of the characters have really good abilities. Yeah, but fighting game characters usually don't have much to go off of right off the bat anyways. I don't know. I just feel it's kind of a narrow view. Like, you can dislike a character's abilities because it's annoying, but if it's a good ability, it's a good ability. I mean, there's always been lore. Like, literally, if you were to go on YouTube and literally watch a video of any of the voice actors for Apex talk about them voicing the characters, they'll explain how much information they were given to kind of voice the character. So there was always lore, even from the very beginning. I don't know, I don't have nearly as much dislike for the characters. I like most of the roster. And the characters I dislike, I only dislike due to like maybe minor things, but it doesn't prevent me from playing them because I might like their abilities. What reasoning? So pretty much you're trying to say that you're illogical. That's what you're saying. Well, to be fair, most of the voice actors have to voice characters in a booth with a director there telling them like, hey, can you do that one over, but maybe a little more emphasis on this, or maybe a little emphasis on that one. Yeah, the voice actors are usually given a little bit of freedom to do a little bit here and there, but the voice actors are given a script. The choices they make are usually less so than what the directors decide. And I'm just saying that when the character is created and a voice actor is chosen, there's already lore of that character in existence. That's all I'm saying in that regard. Bruh, this man's. I don't know. End of the day, I like Apex. I like it a lot. And I honestly can't say that I wouldn't play any of the characters. I generally don't play Wraith all that often, but it's not because of her dialogue. Her dialogue is kind of, for me, it feels super generic, edgy. But her lore makes her more tolerable for me. But I don't play her specifically because I don't get on with her abilities as well. Same with Pathfinder. I don't hate Pathfinder. I actually love Pathfinder. I love Pathfinder. I love all his dialogue. It's amazing. I love him as a character. But I don't like his abilities. His zipline and his grapple are cool, but they're just not for me. So I can't play those characters. I will still play them from time to time when I'm like I need to, or something to that effect, but they're not like my first choices. But I don't avoid them either. Fuck, for a long time I played Caustic, and he's super slow, but his poison is real strong. Yeah, but like, you should give everyone a try when you get the chance. Because it's usually one of those things where you might find something you like that you didn't expect. It's something I learned back in the day because I had a similar idea. Like, yes, their aesthetic may not be great, but they might have a gameplay style you really like down the line. Variety is the spice of life, man. There's also the fact that there's a shit ton of challenges that need to be done with certain characters. Which has caused me to play pretty much all of them. I will still say I dislike Rampart. I just don't like her playstyle. I feel like her passive is nice. I really like her passive. But her wall ability thing feels too restrictive in a game that has such great movement. And her ult is also restrictive in a game that has really good movement. Those are the things I dislike about Rampart herself. But when it comes to most of the other characters, I don't usually have too many issues. Yeah, and I completely understand that. But yeah, given the fact that Apex is a first-person game instead of a third-person game, and you don't have to look at your character for the entire time, would that not make it slightly more appealing to play certain characters that, yeah, may not have the aesthetic you like, but might have an ability or something you might like more? Just food for thought. We will see one day. Kind of curious as to when we're going to get a new legend. I haven't been paying nearly enough attention to see. Oh wait, no, we just got Fuse, so we probably won't get one too soon. And there's also the possibility we might just get Maggie. I got to play Fuse, and that was kind of fun. Since I have all of them, like, I did try him out when he first came out. He's interesting. That's not surprising to me. To be fair, Watson is just really cute. The only time that her dialogue isn't, like, cutesy is somewhat when she's angry, and other times when she specifically talks about ghosts. Because she's seen them. Oh, wait. Shit. I just realized I let myself AFK for too long. Now my issues is like I'm not even entirely super motivated to keep playing 14 right now. One, because I kind of want to play Apex, but two, because like I've got to do a bunch of patch story stuff, and I'm only in 5.2. And it's like I want to get better gear, but I have to keep running the same dungeon over and over again, and if I do it as a healer, then I'm going to obviously keep getting insta-queued, which technically will make getting the gear faster to get done, but at the same time, I'm like, ugh. It hurts my insides. Bruh, if we hopped on Apex together, we would just be queuing with PC players, and that would hurt my insides. Oh, God. I mean, I should probably at least give an hour before I go make dinner. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Let's transition. Alright. There we go. That's going to be it for now. I was thinking we would stream a bit longer, but it is coming down to the time. I do have to get off in an hour to make dinner anyways, and then set up for a game that I have to run. So, there was always the time limit. This kind of sucks because I got to do so much Apex. I don't know how much I'll get done in an hour. I would say I'd stream Apex if it wasn't for the fact that I'm playing Apex on console, not PC. So, unfortunately on that one, apologies everybody. I will not be able to, well, technically it's not that I won't be able to stream Apex, but if I was to stream it, it would be going directly from the console, and that would be, it's bad enough that I still have to play the audio from it through my monitor speakers. So I don't know. Cross, if you want to join me, you can. I am definitely going to be getting on Apex for at least the next hour. Probably hop in like a Discord call or whatever. Just to have someone to talk to in the meantime while I kill myself. Alright, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. For everyone that did. Appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a follow if you liked what you saw and you appreciate my commentary. There will be more Final Fantasy tomorrow. Not tonight, unfortunately. Tomorrow. Wait. I have a midday game on that one. Well, I can do nighttime Final Fantasy. So, yeah, probably tomorrow, later on in the night instead of the early afternoon, as I do run a game tomorrow in the middle of the day. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate every one of you. Have a great rest of your day. And stay tuned tomorrow, around this time actually, to maybe see more Final Fantasy XIV and more patch story stuff and more commentary nonsense. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.